Peace and love. What is going on? Let me get my volume right. Peace, y'all. What's going on? I am Johnny Prince, creator, host of Be Clear Alert podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate the love and support I've been getting. I gotta always shout out all of the supporters, all of my family, everybody that support me. I really appreciate y'all. This thing has been going really, really well, all because of y'all. So thank y'all so much. Make sure you follow at Be Clear Alert Podcast everywhere besides Facebook. You know I ain't on there. So today I got a real super dope show, y'all. Super dope show. I really admire this king here, man. We met some years back, and he's a great dude. Can't wait to bring him on, man. But today was dope for me. Today was dope for me. I am 20 days consecutive in the gym, and it says it takes 21 days to create a habit or even break a habit. And I'm feeling really, really good. You know what I mean? Not because not only physically but mentally. Because there's when you commit yourself and you see the effects of it, man, that's a different type of happiness. That's a different type of proudness, you know what I'm saying? And I am oh so proud of myself, believe that. So I'm doing my thing. I'm feeling good. I'm looking good, and and I'm gonna keep on keeping on. So this is day 20 of 90, because I'm on a specific mission. And so far so good. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling good. I'm looking good. And that's what it is, man. I think the name of the game is consistency, and I've learned so much. You know what I mean? From just just keeping my health, forward front. You know what I mean? So I think it's important, because without that, you won't pretty much have nothing. And I have, plans on staying here till at least 100. You know what I'm saying? And I want to be in my right mind, doing that. So the mission is very specific and is goal oriented. And it's going to happen, you know what I mean? So that's what it is. And I think that, just maintaining good health is highly important, y'all. So that's what it is. But again, make sure you follow Be Clear Alert Podcast everywhere. Today, I got my good brother on, man. He's a good dude, man. Once again, we met a few years back. His name is Shawn Crenshaw, man. And he's a good dude, man. And he is the creator of Ovation, Cologne for men. Let me tell y'all something now. So this cologne, when I had the bottle gone, right? So, but when I had it, I got a different response. Hear what I'm saying, y'all. This cologne here, it was like, what you got on? And I was like, yo, oh man, it was, let me tell y'all something, man. I was like, I ran through the bottle, a couple months or whatever, man, and I gotta get me another one. Just be clear. So when I saw him, I was like, I gotta bring him on. We gotta talk about it. And for those that know, man, I just started this mid December, and it's going good, really good. And I'm gonna have a whole lot more guests on. But today is very, very unique, though, man, because I want to definitely get to know, who this brother is. But I want to read his bio before I bring him on, though, y'all. So Shawn Crenshaw is the founder and chief executive officer of Shawn Crenshaw Incorporated and the creator of Ovation for Men Cologne. Prior to founding the company in January 2014, Shawn had a distinguished career of over 25 years in the hospitality industry. He established himself as an exceptional operator and brand strategist with the most respected brands in the industry, including Houston's Restaurant, Hyatt Regency Hotels, and TGI Friday Restaurants. With every initiative, Shawn distinguished himself as a brand innovator and risk-taker problem solver. Shawn holds a BS from Cornell University, an MBA from the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, and a Juris Doctorate from the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. Shawn is an avid boxer and a proud father of 3 daughters. Ladies and gentlemen, help me wish my good brother on, Shawn Crenshaw. What's going on, King? How you feeling?
Good, feeling good.
That is what's up, man. I
How
am
you
glad.
doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm glad you on with us, man. I was telling the story, man. We met some years back, man, and it was all love from there. And I said I got to get this brother on again, man, because it's been about 5 years or so, and I've seen you elevate. You know, what I mean, I've seen you, in some places and
Excuse me.
stuff, and I'm like, oh snap, this brother is evolving. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, whoa. I just want to say I'm proud of you. You know what I mean? You've been really grinding for all these years, and to see it matched up against, your brand, your cologne, to be matched up against those top colognes, and like I see the reactions. I see, the other bloggers, and I see people like, yo, this is something unique, and I'm guessing it's like, okay, it's from a brand that's not really known, but it smells so good. It smells better than what I'm wearing. You know what I mean? And I know that you've gotten those types of responses. You know what I'm saying? and I know. There's a level of proudness that you have for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to say, just to give you your flowers and to say I'm proud of you, and you keeping on, brother. You know what I mean? And I can't wait to see more. You know what I'm saying?
Johnny, hey, I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you for
Yeah.
inviting me onto your platform,
Yes,
man.
sir.
It's an honor and a privilege. I always take these opportunities
Yeah.
as though they may be my last, man.
No
You
doubt.
never know when you have these opportunities to talk about your vision and your dream. And
Hmm.
so every opportunity, man, is a real one. And I appreciate it. So thank you. Thank you
No
for
doubt.
inviting me. And yeah, man, when we met, man, it was real, man. And
Yeah.
you've been supporting the brand since the first day you were introduced to it. So
Yeah.
I just appreciate everything that you do, brother.
No
Thank you.
doubt.
Thank
No doubt. No, thank you,
thank
brother. No, thank you, man. Let's get right into it, man. I want to know, like, who is Shawn Crenshaw? Let's get into that. Who is Shawn Crenshaw?
man, I tell you, well, I'll start by saying, I consider myself a multi-hyphenate. That's a
Okay.
new term that people
Yeah.
use, multi-hyphenate, meaning I'm a little this,
Uh huh.
dash that, dash this, dash that. I'm definitely a entrepreneur, and
Mhm.
I like to consider myself to be a innovator and a risk taker,
Mhm.
a dreamer,
Mhm.
a people galvanizer.
Mhm.
I like to bring people together and push people forward
Yeah.
towards their dreams and being the best that they can be.
Yeah.
I'm a father of three daughters.
Mhm.
I'm a humble person.
Mhm.
I'm an everyday person. I like to consider myself a person of the people.
Mm.
And when it comes to just bringing all my skill sets to the table, it's to serve. And I tell
Mm.
people all the time,
Yes. Right.
use me, and use the things that I can to help and push other people forward and uplift other people. So that's who I am.
Yeah.
I'm an uplifter. I'm a motivator.
Yeah.
And so I try to live under those principles and under those qualities. And so each time I run into a hurdle, I just fall back on those things, and they
Mhm.
get me through. Just be myself, be
Yeah.
who I am.
I was
And I
just saying,
appreciate you asking
like,
that question.
yeah, no doubt, man. And I appreciate that you have, that giver mindset, that server mindset, because I think it's important, to give as much as you can. To be, I live by the same creed, use me, what I mean? I'm not for me, use me up. I'm not abuse me. What I mean? Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm packed with some things, man. Some wisdom and some information that you could need. You know what I mean? And use me. You know what I mean? And I admire that about you, man. And that's what it
Yeah,
is, man. So,
yeah. Thank you.
oh,
Thank you.
no doubt, no doubt.
And too, the other thing is I
Hmm.
recognize that we live in this age where people need inspiration.
No
You
doubt.
know, and I definitely believe in the motto of be the thing that you that you ask of others to be. Like,
That's right.
create the thing that you want the world to be. And so I try to live under that motto, man, and come in positive energy, positive vibes. And so that's what I live by. That's what I
Yeah.
live by. And I think if you check the receipts that people have on me, I think people will agree.
No
You
doubt.
know,
No
that
doubt.
I try my best. try my best to live by that.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything negative about you, and you've been in these circles, you know what I'm saying, and bad, they say bad news travel faster than anything else, you know what I'm saying, and I've never heard you to ever do nothing crazy. Always giving, always lending an ear, always willing, to teach somebody, what I mean, not afraid to share information, which is highly important, man, and good brothers like you, man, we need more of that.
Thank you, Jim.
No doubt.
That,
Ovation. What was the influence of you creating Ovation Cologne for Men?
Yeah, fragrance traditionally, as you know, man. I mean, fragrance is a big part of our style. It's a big part of our swag.
Yeah.
I'm sure all of us got introduced to fragrance either by our dad or uncle or cousin, or just our own curiosity, walking through the mall and somebody saying, hey, smell this, and we capture, fragrance has this ability to capture our imagination.
Yeah.
It inspires us to be greater than what we are, or how we perceive ourselves, or pushes us to perceive ourselves. As my man Chris Classic says, fragrance is one of those things that gives you the ability to speak without speaking.
Come on now.
And so, I was inspired by my dad, my uncles having fragrance as a part of their swag, and I looked up to them.
No doubt.
And it was the shoes, it was the clothes, the haircut, but more than anything else, what set them apart was the fragrance. Yes, sir. And and as a little kid, just seeing how they would just swoon in a room and gain the influence of all the pretty ladies.
Yeah.
And just dabbing, like, I was like, man, I want to be like that one day.
Yeah.
And as I began to kind of expand my knowledge of fragrance and appreciation, I also noticed how there was a lack of positive imagery, a lack of messaging by the major designer brands towards African American men.
Come on.
And I wanted to address that because I knew that there was a lot of people in my circle, a lot of African American men who supported a lot of these designer brands. If it was Gucci, Yves Saint Laurent, Polo, but none of those brands had any imagery that reflected what I looked like, what my brother looked like, my uncle, my dad, nobody. And I wanted to address that because I was a big fragrance collector. I was a big fragrance fan. And I knew that there was an opportunity, just like we express ourselves with our clothes, just like we express ourselves with our car, and all the other luxury items. I knew that there was an opportunity to utilize fragrance to also express who we are as men and celebrate us.
Yeah.
And so that was the idea. And, one thing led to another. I did some research. And I was like, man, there's no black-owned brands out here. And then I decided to take the time to get it started. And I haven't looked back since then. Haven't looked back.
So you're the only black-owned cologne on the market right now?
There are many, many others. But when I started...
Oh, when you started. Oh, okay.
When I started, I was the only one. One of two or three, if that.
Wow.
But now, due to my efforts, and again, I'm proud to be a part of this new revolution of black-owned fragrance brands in the market. As a matter of fact, starting to in a few days, it'll be Black Fragrance Brand Week, or Black-owned Fragrance Week.
Oh wow!
Starting next week to kick off Black History Month. So there, if you look up Black-owned Fragrance Week, BOFW 24, BOFW 24, Black-owned Fragrance Week 24, hashtag. There are so many events being put on by my guy, Mr. Cologne 76.
Okay.
And so, so I'm just proud to be a part of this new movement of Black-owned fragrances that are just all across the marketplace, all doing great work, all, just pushing the genre, pushing entrepreneurship to another level.
That is what's up, man. That is major, bro. And to hear you speak about this, about your brand, man, I know from when you started to now. I want to ask you, was there before, like when you created, like when before the first bottle in your hand, did you ever at a point feel like this was a mistake? or this is going south. This ain't gonna happen.
It's funny you say that. I have had so many ups and downs, man, trying to get this product when I first started off the ground. What I did first though is I educated myself. You can go to YouTube and there's different videos of how people are making fragrances, hand blending their fragrances and things like that, which I learned a lot by watching those videos and kind of understanding just some of the terminology and process of making a fragrance. But what really set me apart is I decided to invest in myself and invest in my education and go to various fragrance conferences that were being held across the country. There's a big fragrance conference in LA, big fragrance conference in Miami. There's a fragrance conference in Europe. I spent 2 years going to various conferences to just understand the game, understand who the players were, understand the terminology, just understand the processes. Because here's the thing, when you enter a space like fragrance, which has a long history, people who are very educated, passionate about it, the first way to ruin your credibility is to enter the market and not know what you're talking about. And so I wanted to make sure that I entered the market knowing what I was talking about,
Full
which
knowledge.
required me to educate myself. So that was the first thing I did. And during that process, man, I was giving my elevator pitch to everybody that would listen. Hey, I have this dream about this fragrance called Ovation for Men. Celebrates the style, creativity, and excellence of African-American men. I noticed that there's a void of brands in the market, targeted to African-American men and celebrating African-American men. I know from my experience that African-American men buy fragrances 2 to 1, 3 to 1 than other demographics, other counterparts. And I want to create a brand that addresses this opportunity. That was my elevator pitch, and I was giving it to anyone that would listen. And then I met a young man who was retiring from his position with one of the major fragrance houses, and he was like, "Okay, I like what you're saying. I like that. Here's my information. Call me. Let's talk." And called him, followed up, and he loved my pitch and believed in the dream. And then he turned me on to a perfumer. We started working on a prototype recipe. That took about 6 months, going back and forth, tweaking it. Then we found a bottling company, packaging company, found a company that will assemble all of the ingredients. That took about to go from ideation all the way to a full packaged product was like another year. And then, I just kept reinvesting. The sale of the bottles, I would reinvest it back to re-up my inventory. And then keep re-up. It was almost like the street game. It was like the dope game. We was reinvesting back into the product. And that's what got me going. And over the past 8-9 years, I've had my ups and downs. There were times when I had to, suspend operations because I didn't have inventory. I didn't have the money to get the inventory. There were times where I was, unemployed. Laid off from a job and using the fragrance to kind of help sustain me. And so I had to get back on my feet and get things going. But these past couple of years have really been a good time. And now we're doing some big stuff now. We're doing some big stuff. And so
that is what's up,
real
man.
good time, and just happy to be in this place we are, and it's a blessing.
Is what's up.
It's been a journey. It's been a journey.
Yeah. I'll let you repeat it at the end of the show, but somebody wants to know now, where could they find the fragrance while they're on live right now?
Yeah, so you can find it. Here's what I recommend. So let me tell a little bit more about my story.
Okay.
Is this past year, we were accepted into Amazon's Black Business Accelerator program.
Wow.
And that was a big step for us because now all of my inventory is with Amazon, and Amazon fulfills all my orders. We're able to promote and advertise on Amazon. So as I'm building my relationship with Amazon, you can find me on Amazon.com. All you have to do is search Shawn Crenshaw, Ovation for Men, and my product should pop right up. Shawn Crenshaw, Ovation for Men, and the product will pop right up. We have 2 fragrances, our Ovation for Men Signature, and then our Ovation for Men Sport. Both are very popular. Depending on what you're looking for. Our Ovation for Men Signature is a little more sophisticated, a little more what I say grown man. Definitely grown man. You can check out the notes on Amazon. And then our Ovation for Men Sport is a more what we call a daytime fragrance, an everyday fragrance.
Everyday joint. Okay.
Something that you can wear around town, errands, the gym, just something casual you can wear with t-shirt and jeans. But our Ovation for Man signature is a little more sophisticated, a little more
Yeah.
formal, something to dress up, something for
Yeah.
the nightlife. If I
Yeah.
had to categorize the two fragrances, Ovation for Men Sport is for the daytime, our Ovation for Men signature is for the nighttime. Just an easy way to remember, And so you can
Yeah.
rock with Ovation all day long.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great product, and we're really proud of what we're doing. Really
That is
proud of what.
that is what's up, man. On Amazon, that is major. That is
Yep.
major, bro. And like
Yep.
again, you work so hard, to get it on this $1 billion platform, man. And hey, listen, y'all,
Yeah.
it's on Amazon right now. To search Shawn Crenshaw, Ovation for Men. It is. You will not be disappointed. I got to get the sport. The sport. I ain't get this because when did you create the sport?
We created the sport this year, and
Oh,
I
this
tell
is
you,
new.
the great
Okay.
thing about the sport is if anyone follows me, we launched our Ovation for Men Sport as our second fragrance brand, and we decided to launch it to also coincide with the advent of name, image, and likeness in college athletics. And so we launched the brand and solicited athletes in the collegiate space to help us promote the brand, and we've been doing name, image, and likeness (NIL) deals
Yeah.
with college athletes, and it's been crazy. It's been crazy. We
That
we
is
were
what's
able
up.
to land an NIL deal with two college players, a young man at Michigan State, Dylan Tatum. He's a defensive back at Michigan State. We were able to land a college NIL deal with Nicholas Harbor. He's a wide receiver, one of the top recruits last year for the University of South Carolina. We'll be launching his campaign this spring. And then we landed two top-rated high school students. We landed the number one high school student in Pennsylvania, Quentin Martin, who is committed to Penn State University.
Wow.
And we landed Trades Green, the number one high school player in Louisiana, and he's committed to LSU. So we've been building our brand, Ovation for Men Sport, around name, image, and likeness in our college athletes, really getting into the sports marketing, sports branding space to really build some traction and take that dive into the culture of athletics and us. Because
Yes.
again, our
Yes.
tagline is every man deserves an ovation.
Come on
and what
now.
better space to be in than sports? Because every Saturday those stadiums are full, and,
Come on.
and guys that look like me and you are getting those ovations. And so we want to leverage the brand and our brand motto, every man deserves an ovation, to uplift these young men. So we're proud of what we're doing and really excited about what's going on.
Come on now. That is major, man. I want to get into that in a little bit, but I want to ask you right quick, Ovation. How did you come up with the name Ovation?
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. It came to me from a voice. The Lord gave it to me.
Wow.
God blessed me with that, because I kept contemplating, like, what's a name for a fragrance, that really was authentic to me and how I felt at the time of when I was bringing the idea to life. And I'm gonna tell you, man, I wanted to do something to help us feel appreciated, help us feel celebrated. When I was building the brand, it was right in the middle of George Floyd was going on, and all the turmoil and conflict in the country. And, as an African American man, we had a target on our back. We was coming off of the heels of the Trayvon Martin situation, and so I wanted to address that in the sentiment, how I felt when I was developing the brand. And Ovation came to me in a voice. I'll be honest, and it was like Ovation for Men. Every man deserves an ovation,
Just like that.
And that's how it came.
Wow.
And I ran to my attorney. Shout out to Dana Thomas, my attorney. We checked on the trademark, and we got it trademarked, both Ovation for Men and Every Man Deserves an Ovation. So we own that intellectual property, and so we're just trying to build the momentum and keep this thing going. But it's more of an exercise and a passion of me using my brand to celebrate us.
That is what's up, man.
That's what it's about.
Oh man. I'm ecstatic right now, man, to hear you, from creating it and the journey to where it is now. That's beautiful, brother. I know.
And I gotta show the bottle.
Show the bottle, please.
This is the Ovation signature. I don't have the Ovation Sport with me right now. I apologize. But you see, I got a big dent in it. I use it, boy. You see, I've been using it, baby. But you gotta pop that on.
Yeah. See?
Pop that on. You know,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you, this
Yo.
thing works wonders. It works wonders.
Look, I'm believe him. Believe me. You don't take his word for it. Take my word. I'm telling you, that's his product. I've used it, and I have gotten some great responses.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
telling you, the ladies love it. I'm telling you now. Recently I seen you put up some posts in regards to the NCAA, and NIL. How Tennessee has been cited or being investigated. Speak about that and how it correlates with
Yeah.
black brands.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. You know, for those that don't know about NIL,
Mm-hmm.
NIL stands for name, image, and likeness.
Mm-hmm.
And back in 2021, late 2021, the NCAA lost a lawsuit that was brought against them that they were exploiting and profiting off of players' name, image, and likeness in video games and in TV broadcasts, and that players had a right to benefit and earn money off of their name, image, and likeness. And
Mm-hmm.
so the courts ruled in favor of the players, and so name, image, and likeness became legal, and universities had to honor the ability of players being able to use their name, image, and likeness for profit. They can go out and
Wow.
endorse things. They can go out and do autograph signings. They can earn money and not lose their eligibility. And so,
Mm.
what we decided to do with the new ruling was to again launch Ovation for Men Sport to take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
And but what the NCAA did is they did stipulate some rules around name, image, and likeness. To try to best, you know, have some uniformity and standards and processes. And one of those, and so a few things
Mm-hmm.
with name, image, and likeness. This is how it works. Universities can raise money on behalf of supporting athletes for name, image, and likeness. However, they can't give the money to them directly. You just can't pay them,
Okay.
and you can't use name, image, and likeness to induce players to come to your university when you're
Mm.
recruiting. And so the way it works is the universities can raise money, but they can't give it to them directly. Instead, you have to run name, image, and likeness through a business that provides acceptable name, image, and likeness activities to the player. So, what's an acceptable name, image, and likeness activity? An acceptable name, image, and likeness activity is you can do appearances at
Mm-hmm.
at an event and get
Okay.
paid for an appearance. You can do educational camps with kids or whatever, do football camps and get paid for doing the football camps. You can get paid for endorsing a product.
Mm-hmm.
The university can allocate funds to pay you for endorsing a product or being a part of a product endorsement. You can get paid for doing interviews on a podcast
Mm-hmm.
or you can star in a
Yeah.
show or things like that. So you can sell merchandise. So all those things are acceptable name, image, and likeness activities. The universities can't pay you directly. They can raise money. They can either create those activities or they can allocate monies to a business that does those activities.
Okay.
Well, for us, we do one of those activities. We do product endorsement. We
Mm.
can take a player, he can do a product endorsement with us, then we can go to the university and say, hey, we have your player doing a product endorsement. You have money for NIL. What we're doing is an acceptable NIL activity. Let's partner together and figure out how we can do this with the player. I.e., I bring the product to the table.
Yeah.
University, you bring the money to the table. Hey, and we assign this as an NIL activity. The player gets paid. I get access, endorsement to the player, a bigger platform. Then we
Mm.
sell bottles and we keep this thing going. You as a podcast owner, you too can reach out to the university and say, I have a podcast. I'd like to support your athletic program and interview your athletes. The universities have a budget that they'll pay you to help run your podcast and pay the athletes to be a guest on your show.
Wow.
If you, any of your listeners, have a t-shirt business, you can go to the university and say, hey, I want to do t-shirts with your players on it, sell the t-shirts, and so the universities can potentially partnership with you to do an NIL deal for that. And it goes on and on. So those are the things, now that
Wow.
the rules have changed, what we wanted to take advantage of as a brand
Mm-hmm.
and do NIL. The announcements and headlines that you're seeing is that colleges are being investigated for violating the NIL rules, meaning they're giving them money, but the players aren't doing any product endorsements. The players aren't doing any appearances. The players aren't doing any interviews. The players aren't doing any merchandise. The players aren't doing any sports camps. You just giving them money. Well, guess what? That's against the rule. And so that's or you promised the player while you were recruiting them, hey, you come to my university. Hey Johnny, you come to my university. I'm gonna pay you this amount of money in NIL deals, or this amount of money in NIL. Come to my university. You can't do that. That's not against the rules.
So that's what the colleges are doing. They're using the NIL funds to lure the people, the student in.
Yes, yeah. You're not. See, what it's meant for is once you do get to the university, now the university can say, "Hey, Johnny, we want to help you with NIL. We got this company, this activity, this. Hey, we can help support you. You make that appearance, you endorse this product, we can give you money for that." That's how it's supposed to work. But what's happening is the universities are inducing the players to come to the university, sign with the university, making these promises about NIL. That's against the rule.
So how does it hurt the small business owner, or whoever?
How it hurts is what's happening is the universities, the boosters, because it's the boosters that are creating these, they're becoming middlemen. They're creating what they're calling collectives. So a bunch of rich boosters get together and it was like, you know what, I'll tell you what, we'll create a business that does a podcast, or at least we say we'll do a podcast. We'll create a business that says we're paying the athletes for appearances or autograph signings. We'll run the money through us. And so the collectives, which are just a bunch of boosters, they're not the universities, they're boosters. They're acting as agents and soliciting these players on behalf of the universities, per se, and recruiting these players and making promises. And what's happening is when the players come, the boosters are blocking guys like me.
I see.
So they're saying, no, Shawn, you're not a part of our collective. We're going to have Johnny do an endorsement deal with the guy that owns the Mercedes dealership that's a part of our collective.
I see.
No, Shawn, we got somebody that owns a T-shirt company. Nah, you're not a part of the collective. So, nah. And then what happens is the players sign to the collectives, and the players now have to go through the collectives, or the collectives become the people that cut the deals for the players to do the activities. And so it takes away the ability of the player to go out and independently solicit his or her own NIL deals, because they sign on collectives, and now the collectives run everything. And they block players like me out of the game.
I see. So that's crazy. So did the colleges ever think that it would never be found out? How was this able to be created to continue?
It's competitive out there, man. I mean,
that's
crazy. people tell people, people will expose you. Wow. And the other part of it is the NCAA is a little understaffed in enforcing the rules. The NCAA, they've taken out a lot of the teeth in trying to enforce the rules, because the NCAA is just understaffed. You got all these colleges doing all this stuff. Yeah. You have to do investigations. You got to get people to do affidavits. You got to get people to, this and, so it can be problematic.
Wow.
But I think what the NCAA is doing now is at least trying to identify programs that they think are egregious and violating the rules, and trying to investigate and see what's going on.
So what could come out? So the courts can get involved and create some sort of something to change that, or to give them some sanctions, or not sanctions, or some penalties or something?
What's happening now is the president of the NCAA put a proposal to all the conferences, all the university presidents and chancellors and conferences, where they want to basically change the rules to say, hey, we will raise the money and we'll pay the players. And we'll pay the players, just pay the players. There's no need for them to do autograph signings. There's no need for them to do product endorsements. There's no need. We'll just pay them. Just period.
Wow.
But that in itself is running into some hurdles, because if you pay players, then are they employees? And if they are employees, then they get all the protections of being an employee: workers' comp, insurance, potential unionize. They can unionize. So the NCAA is trying to figure out what's the best approach.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
but at the same time, ultimately, what I would say is that whatever the NCAA decides, I would challenge the NCAA to make sure that the small players like myself are still at the table and are able to
No
do
doubt.
business with the athletes.
No
And
doubt.
so for athletes, I think the message needs to be that the athletes actually have all the power. And the athletes need to recognize that name, image, and likeness is actually an intellectual property right.
Come
It's
on.
like an artist or a songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
It's an intellectual property right. And so I would challenge and warn players that when the NCAA does decide to change the rules, be careful that the situation is not like an artist signing his masters or his publishing
Mm.
away to a record label, because that's really the business model that's left if the NCAA and the universities decide to bring name, image, and likeness, i.e., an intellectual property right, in house. Because what needs to happen is you will pay the player in exchange for the rights to their intellectual property. That's the
Right.
same exchange that the labels do when they sign you, sign your publishing, sign away your intellectual property. And if that is the case, then what will happen is players will sign away their rights, their intellectual property rights, i.e., their name, image, and likeness, for cash. And now the universities own the name, image, and likeness rights. And now they can
Mm.
bargain. They can
Right.
can go out and basically
Yeah.
sell or solicit
Right.
for your name, image, and likeness, right? And you won't have a say. And you won't have a say
That's
because why? Because they paid you for it.
wow.
So it hasn't
Wow.
materialized to that yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I think there's some discussions of like how to transform name, image, and likeness where the universities have more control. I'm afraid that it may look more like a record label and an artist, giving away his or her publishing. And
Mm.
so some of the same concerns that we have
Yeah.
there, we may see it in name, image, and likeness.
Wow, wow. I like for you, if you can, man, to keep us posted, updated on that whole process, because I think that what you're discussing now is highly important, for the players, and to hear you describe it, it is exactly like Death Row Records or a record label or something. It's getting there, or if not there already. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much, I give you the certain amount of bread, and you sign right here, and I own you. I own your property. I own everything about you.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and, and this is what some of the players are doing now, because I need bread. I can, whatever they getting, I can get. But it's
right.
like you said, you signing away your masters or giving away
Right.
your
Because you got to understand something. You got to understand people aren't giving you money for nothing.
right, right, right.
That's what I try to, they're not giving you money for nothing. In NIL, when the university gives you money, they're getting something in return. You know what they're getting? They're getting the rights to your name, image, and
Right.
likeness. And so they have control over it, which now, so if an independent brand like myself wanted to do business with you, Johnny, and you sold your NIL rights,
Yeah.
I now got to go to the university, and guess what? The university will say, well, this is how much you have to pay me, Shawn,
Yep.
to do business with Johnny. Because you know why? I got to recoup my money back. Again, it's the same. It's the
That's
same business model.
crazy.
This is how much you got to pay me, so you can
Wow.
do business with Johnny. And then when you do business with me, the university is going to say to you, Johnny, we need you here to do this with Shawn. Well, do I get paid for it? No, you already got
You
paid
already
for it.
got paid. Yeah.
You already got paid. I need you to do
Wow.
that.
Wow. 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 Yeah. Okay.
And I think too, the other piece of it is we have the transfer portal there. And if you kind of see the writing on the wall, what the NCAA is doing is they're trying to delineate these certain classes of schools, the rich schools, the mid-tier schools, and maybe the lesser revenue generating schools. Because here's the deal. Imagine this. If they had rights to your intellectual property, and then you decided to use the transfer portal to go to Georgia, you're at Georgia and you decide to go to Alabama. Well, guess what? If they have your intellectual property rights, guess what? Now what's going to happen is they can go to Alabama and say, Alabama, you owe us. Let's exchange intellectual property rights. I'm not going to give you Johnny's intellectual property rights for nothing. Either you pay me and I'll release Johnny from his name, image, and likeness contract that he has with me so he can come play with you, or let's figure out how we can exchange one of your Alabama players that's coming over here, for the intellectual property rights of this Georgia player that's going to
Wow.
you. See,
Wow.
that's the evolution of what this could potentially look like.
Mm.
And so I challenge people to just pay attention to what's developing, pay attention to what, the writings on the wall, take the extra time to read some of the headlines and understand some of the moves that the NCAA is making, understand some of the moves that some of these collectives are making, because it's going to impact players from an intellectual property perspective.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
name, image, and likeness is intellectual property. And there's already industries, i.e., the music industry, that has a long history of exploiting intellectual property. And trust and
Mm.
believe, the universities are looking at the same business model to apply to the NCAA, transfer portal, recruiting, and
Yeah.
NIL. Same business model. It's an intellectual property issue.
Wow. So is it safe to say that should you go if you're a top athlete, if you're in high school and they looking at you, you the Michael Jordan right now in high school, you about to go to college, all the colleges is whatever looking at you and want you to come. Is it safe? Is it best for them to own their intellectual property? Like somehow copyright their name and or everything, or trademark their name and
Absolutely.
all that other stuff? Is it good to do that?
To your
Is it
point,
best?
yes, yes. You come up with a bill. It's the same thing. It's like stay independent. Copyright your intellectual property. If you have a brand name, prime time.
Mm-hmm.
Prime time, copyright it. And so now when you go to that university, say, I own my intellectual property. My nickname is prime time, and I want to put it on T-shirts. What you can do is you can go to the university, say, you know what, support my business,
Mm-hmm.
support my T-shirt business. Or you say, I want to do business with Shawn Crenshaw. Me and Shawn Crenshaw got something going on. Hey, university, support that. Let's do a partnership with that.
Mm.
Stay independent, you know? And I
Mm.
think what needs to happen is there needs to be more businesses that can enter the space, more advisors that can enter the space to empower these athletes to stay independent and keep control of their name, image, and likeness.
Right.
Keep control of their intellectual property.
Okay. Wow. You just laid it on us. You just gave us some heavy knowledge, man. And we appreciate that. A lot of people is in the chats, jewels and all that. On a lighter note, somebody said anything for the ladies yet?
Not, you know what? That's a good question. Good question. We have been working on a ladies' fragrance. It's on our board, on our list.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We really just is probably be another year and a
Okay.
half before we have a ladies' fragrance. We just really need to push through some of our deliverables and some of our strategic objectives with Ovation for Men Sport and what
Okay.
we're doing in the name, image, and likeness space and building the traction there. So we got something coming, but it's just not ready yet. But it's
Okay.
coming.
Okay.
We coming.
Okay. Ladies, you hear that? You coming. Ladies, the Ovation for Ladies. That is what's up. That is what's up, man. Listen, real quick, where can everybody again find your fragrance and find you at?
Yes, so because again, I'm a part of the Amazon Black Business Accelerator program, really doing everything we can to drive traffic to Amazon. My growth and my long-term stability is really dependent on how well I can get those Amazon numbers up.
Okay.
It's just like an artist. We trying to get them streams up, trying to get
Okay.
them numbers up. You can find me on Amazon, search Shawn Crenshaw, Ovation for Men, right there. If for any reason you're not an Amazon user, you don't like Amazon, you can go to my website, ovationfragrance.com. You can order a bottle at ovationfragrance.com. Amazon still does all my fulfillment,
Okay.
but you can order it there. It's real easy, simple, ovationfragrance.com. You can check me out on Instagram, Ovation for Men. Also, my second Instagram page, Ovation for Men Sport. And then my personal page is Shawn Crenshaw INC, Shawn Crenshaw Incorporated, Shawn Crenshaw INC. So you can find me there. Or if everything else fails, Google me. Just
No
Google
doubt.
Shawn Crenshaw, Ovation for Men. Everything
Yes,
pops up.
sir. Yes,
Everything
sir.
pops up.
Ovation, y'all. Ovation for men, man. Listen, Valentine's Day is coming up, y'all. Get your orders in this
Hey,
weekend.
do
All
that.
right.
And here's the other thing too. If you do order on my website,
Mm-hmm.
there is a promo code.
Okay.
The promo code is Ovation
Mm-hmm.
23. Ovation for 23. You on the
Ovation
website.
23 on the
Unfortunately,
website.
that promo code is not applicable for Amazon,
Okay,
but on
that's
the
the website.
website, Ovation 23, and it gets you a 15% discount.
Woo!
And I, and I might be, I'm gonna have to take that discount down real soon because I'm competing against myself because I'm trying to drive traffic to
Yeah,
Amazon. So
yeah,
I'm waiting on
yeah.
Amazon to give me my promo code so I can make it happen.
No
But
doubt,
if you could support me on Amazon, that would be greatly
no doubt,
appreciated.
no doubt.
Everything else, go to ovationfragrance.com and use the promo code Ovation23 for a 15% discount.
Yes, sir. Man, I appreciate that. Now, listen, make sure you go ahead, support. This is what it's about. You know what I mean? The entrepreneur. We're going to support this brother. Make sure you follow him on Instagram. Make sure you go on Amazon and order. Share the website. Share what he got going on. And Shawn Crenshaw, I appreciate you, King. I really, really appreciate you for being on here. Thank you so much. And I wish you much more success. For real, brother. For real, man.
Johnny, I appreciate you, brother. It's been a privilege and an honor, man. Anytime you need anything,
Yeah.
feel free to call me. I answer all
Thank
my
you.
texts, all
Yeah.
my emails, all my DMs.
Yeah.
I'm here. Use me.
No
I want to
doubt.
support brothers and do whatever I can to help push you and all of your endeavors forward.
No
So
doubt.
never,
Thank you.
ever feel, like you can call me anytime, brother.
No doubt, man. No doubt. I thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, King. I'll
Okay,
chop
brother.
it up with you later, man.
Yes, sir.
Yo, y'all, man. Crenshaw, Shawn Crenshaw, man. Ovation for Men Cologne, man. Thank y'all so much for vibing out. This was dope. Thank y'all, everybody, for tuning in the chat. Thank y'all so much. My son, I see Keisha was going on, baby. Zero Nonce was going on. EXO, thank y'all so much for vibing out. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you go ahead and support my brother, Shawn Crenshaw, Ovation for Men Cologne. Go on Amazon, search Shawn Crenshaw, Ovation Cologne, and they'll pop up. You can also go to the website, ovationfragrance.com. You get a 50% discount if you type in the promotional code Ovation23, y'all. So, and make sure you follow. Just type it in. Google, type it in everything, and everything will pop up. Make sure you follow him. So all I need y'all to do is just go ahead and support and follow. Until the nenext show, y'all, next week, it's going to be dope. Y'all just keep it locked. Make sure you follow me at Be Clear Alerts Podcast everywhere, except for Facebook. I am on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, iHeart, and Google. So, y'all, that's what it is, man. I thank y'all so much for the love and support. I appreciate y'all, everybody in the chat. Thank y'all so much. And until the next show, y'all. Good night.